Hello and welcome back to our channel, where we dive deep into the world of rare coins, historic currency, and the treasures hiding in plain sight. If you love coin collecting or are curious about the hidden value of old coins, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to take a detailed and exciting look at the 1986 Liberty 1-cent coin, a small copper penny that could hold a surprisingly big value. So stay tuned, because this is one coin you'll want to check your pockets for. The Liberty 1-cent coin from 1986, more commonly known as the Lincoln cent, is one of the most recognizable coins in American history. Struck by the United States Mint, this coin features the bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design first introduced in 1909 to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday. In 1986, this coin was still a key part of American commerce. It was used daily by millions, but little did people know that a few special versions of this penny would become prized possessions for collectors all over the world. Let's break down the features of the 1986 Liberty 1-cent coin. The obverse or front side of the coin shows the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The word Liberty is inscribed to the left of Lincoln, and the date 1986 appears to the right. Above his head, you'll see the phrase "In God We Trust." On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to replace the wheat ears of earlier pennies. The words "United States of America" are arched above the monument, and below it, the denomination 1 cent is boldly printed. Just above that, the famous motto "E pluribus unum" is proudly displayed. The 1986 Lincoln cent is made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, a change that started in 1982 due to rising copper prices. This coin was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; San Francisco, S mint mark, proof coins only. Now let's talk mintage. In 1986, an astonishing number of these coins were produced. Philadelphia Mint produced over 4.9 billion coins. Denver Mint struck more than 4.4 billion coins. San Francisco Mint released about 3.3 million proof coins for collectors. With numbers this massive, it might seem like this coin is common, but not all 1986 pennies are created equal. Some 1986 Liberty cents have rare errors or variations that dramatically increase their value. Let's look at a few examples. Double die obverse, DDO. These coins show doubling in the words Liberty or In God We Trust. Off-center strikes, a coin that is misaligned during minting, with a portion of the design missing. Die cracks and cuds, these occur due to worn-out dies and can create unique raised lines or blobs of metal. No mint mark proofs or transitional errors, extremely rare and valuable. If you own a 1986 penny with any of these errors, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Although the 1986 Liberty 1-cent coin was created for everyday use, its historical value lies in its continuity in the Lincoln cent legacy. This was during Ronald Reagan's presidency, a time of economic reform and Cold War tension. These coins represent a piece of everyday American life during an iconic decade. For collectors, even standard 1986 pennies in mint condition, especially in high-grade MS65 or higher, can attract interest. The proof coins with an S mint mark from San Francisco are especially collectible. Now let's talk money. How much is your 1986 Liberty 1-cent coin worth in today's market? Circulated coins are usually worth face value, 1 cent, unless they have a visible error or unique feature. Uncirculated coins can range from 50 cents to $2, depending on the grade and condition. Proof coins from San Francisco can be worth $2 to $8. Depending on the strike quality. Rare error coins like double dies or major off-center strikes have sold for $50 to $500 or more at auctions. MS67 plus graded coins, certified by grading services like PCGS or NGC, can fetch $100 to $250, especially if they're in pristine red condition. Remember, the final price depends on condition, rarity, and demand. So it's always a good idea to get your coin professionally appraised or graded. The 1986 Liberty 1 cent may look like a regular penny, but it's proof that big history can come in small packages. Whether you're a casual collector or a seasoned numismatist, this coin is a fun piece to explore and possibly a hidden gem in your collection. Check your piggy banks, coin jars, or even your wallet. You never know when a rare 1986 penny could be hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the fascinating world of rare coins and collectibles. We're talking about the 1984 Liberty 1-cent coin. Stay tuned because this little copper penny has an incredible history, surprising varieties, and in some cases, a price tag far above its face value. Let's begin with a look at the coin itself. The 1984 Liberty 1-cent coin, also known as the 1984 Lincoln Memorial Cent, features the classic design of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. This portrait was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate Lincoln's 100th birthday, designed by Victor David Brenner. The letter D under the year 1984 signifies that this coin was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the primary mints of the United States. On the reverse side, we see the Lincoln Memorial, a design that was introduced in 1959 to replace the Wheatstock design, and it remained in circulation until 2008. The year 1984 is significant for coin collectors because it was one of the transitional years for the U.S. penny. Just 2 years before, in 1982, the composition of the penny was changed from 95% copper to a primarily zinc coin with a thin copper coating. However, by 1984, the change was complete, and most of the coins, including the 1984 D cent, were made of zinc with copper plating. The total mintage of the 1984 D penny was massive. Over 6.5 billion coins were struck that year in Denver. That means the coin was common in everyday circulation. However, not all 1984 D pennies are created equal, and some can fetch a premium price because of errors, varieties, and condition. Now let's talk about the real reason why collectors pay close attention to this coin, the valuable varieties and errors. One of the most famous varieties of the 1984 D penny is the doubled ear Lincoln cent. In this error, Abraham Lincoln's ear appears to have been struck twice, resulting in a visible doubling on his earlobe. This happened because of a mistake during the hubbing process at the mint. Coins with this error can be worth a significant amount of money. Some examples have sold for anywhere between $150 to over $300, depending on their condition and grading. Another thing that collectors look for is the coin's condition. If you find a 1984 D penny in mint state condition, meaning it has no wear from circulation, it could be worth anywhere from $5 to $15, even without any errors. And if it's graded as MS65 red or higher, the price could go up to $50 or more. For those rare top-condition coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, collectors have been known to pay hundreds of dollars. As of today, in average circulated condition, the 1984 D Liberty 1-cent coin is still worth about 1 cent because so many were made. But if you have one that is uncirculated or has the famous doubled ear variety, you could be holding on to a small treasure. The current market value for a high-grade 1984 D penny without errors can range from $5 to $50, depending on its condition. For the doubled ear error, collectors may pay from $150 all the way up to $500 if the coin is certified in top condition. It's also important to remember that copper pennies from before 1982 are sometimes collected for their metal content. However, the 1984 D penny is zinc-based with just a thin copper layer, so it doesn't have the same metal value. Its value comes from condition, rarity, and error types. So how do you know if you have a valuable 1984 D penny? First, check the condition. If the coin is shiny, has no scratches, and looks brand new, it could be uncirculated and worth grading. Second, use a magnifying glass to inspect Lincoln's ear. If you see doubling on the earlobe, you might have the famous doubled ear variety. And third, consider having your coin graded by a professional service if you believe it's valuable. This will help you get the highest price if you decide to sell. Coins like the 1984 D Liberty 1 cent remind us that everyday change can hold surprising stories and unexpected value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, checking your pocket change for these hidden gems can be a fun and rewarding hobby. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos on rare and valuable coins. Drop a comment today. We are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and talked about coins in modern numismatics, the 1982 Liberty 1 cent coin. Get ready, because what you're about to learn might just change the way you look at your pennies forever. Let's get started. Host speaking. The 1982 Liberty 1 cent coin, also known as the 1982 Lincoln penny, is more than just an ordinary coin. It holds a very special place in United States coinage history because 1982 was a year of massive transition for the U.S. Mint. Before 1982, pennies were made primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc, a composition that had been used since 1962. But rising copper prices in the early 1980s meant that it was becoming too expensive for the U.S. Mint to produce 1-cent coins. In fact, by 1981, the copper in a penny was actually worth more than 1 cent, so in 1982, the U.S. Mint made a major change. They switched from copper to copper-plated zinc. The new pennies were made of 97.5% zinc with just a thin 2.5% copper coating. This change saved the government millions of dollars but created a unique situation for collectors during the transition. Both copper and zinc pennies were minted in 1982. And to make things even more interesting, there were 7 different varieties of the 1982 penny. 1982 large date copper, 1982 small date copper, 1982 large date zinc, 1982 small date zinc, 1982 D large date copper, 1982 D large date zinc, 1982 D small date zinc. Notice something? There is no confirmed 1982 D small date copper penny officially released, but one has been discovered by collectors, and it's considered one of the rarest modern coins. We'll talk more about that in a moment. In total, over 10 billion pennies were minted in 1982, split between the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The Philadelphia mint coins have no mint mark, while the Denver mint coins carry the letter D. Here's a quick breakdown of the estimated mintage. Philadelphia mint, no mint mark, over 10 billion combined large and small date coins. Copper and zinc. Denver mint, D mint mark, about 6 billion combined large and small date coins, mostly zinc. That's why you'll often find 1982 pennies in circulation even today. But not all 1982 pennies are equal in value. So what makes the 1982 Liberty 1-cent coin valuable? First, the metal composition is important. Copper pennies are worth more than their face value because of their intrinsic metal value. As of now, a pre-1982 copper penny contains about 2 to 3 cents worth of copper. Second, the rare varieties make certain 1982 pennies extremely collectible. The most famous is the 1982 D small date copper penny. For many years, experts believed it didn't exist. But in 2016, a collector found one and sent it for authentication. It turned out to be real, and since then, only a few confirmed examples have been found. One of those coins sold at auction for over $18,000. Yes, you heard that right. An ordinary-looking penny from 1982 sold for more than $18,000 just because of its rare variety. So how can you tell if you have a valuable 1982 penny? There are 2 main things to check. Size of the date. Compare the date on your penny to known images of large and small dates. The small date version has a thinner 2 and the 8 is more even in size, while the large date has a heavier appearance. Copper or zinc. Test. Weigh your penny on a digital scale. A copper penny weighs 3.11 grams, while a zinc penny weighs only 2.5 grams. If you find a 1982 D small date copper penny weighing 3.11 grams, you might just have one of the rarest modern coins in U.S. history. Let's talk about current values in the coin market. For common 1982 pennies, here's what you can expect. Copper large date or small date, about 3 to 5 cents EAC. Zinc large date or small date face value, unless in high grade. Copper large date, about 3 to 5 cents. Zinc large date face value. Zinc small date, about 1 to 2 cents unless in mint state condition. 1982 D small date copper, up to $18,000 or more, depending on condition. For high grade examples in mint state 65 or better, prices can go higher, especially for the small date varieties. So next time you come across a 1982 Liberty 1-cent coin, don't just toss it in a jar or ignore it. Take a closer look. Weigh it. Check the date style. You might just be holding a small piece of numismatic history, and maybe even a fortune. Coin collecting is full of surprises, and stories like the 1982 penny remind us why this hobby is so exciting. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the next person to discover a rare coin right in your pocket change. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We bring you more coin stories, hidden treasures, and real market values every week. Thank you for watching, and as always, happy collecting!